Hello, my name is John Alzheimer, and I am a credit expert who contributes to creditcardinsider.com. Got a very good question today from a Credit Card Insider reader named Slidellian. And Slidellian's question is this. Years ago, I opened a secured credit card with a $2,000 deposit, in other words, a security deposit, and used it to build up my credit reports. I was able to get several non-secured or unsecured credit cards since then. The secured card is my oldest card. Will closing the secured card to get my deposit back hurt my credit score? Would you also please let me know if this will affect the average length of my accounts and if it's possible to avoid hurting my credit score by simply converting the secured card to a regular card without closing it? That's a very, very good question with a lot of moving parts, so let's address them individually, piece by piece. If you have a secured credit card and that happens to be the oldest account on your credit report, let's say hypothetically it's 10 years old, and since then you've opened a variety of other accounts that are all younger than 10 years old. And so one of the concerns that people have when closing credit cards is how is this going to affect the average age of the accounts on their credit report, because that's actually a fairly important metric in not only your Vantage score but also your FICO credit scores, worth roughly 15% of the points in your credit score. So you penalize yourself by making your credit reports look younger. Here's the good news. Closing an account has absolutely no effect on the average age of the accounts on your credit report. That's actually a very common myth. People love to talk about how closing a card can lower your credit scores because it makes your credit reports look younger. That's not true. Anything you read online, that's simply not true. So if you want to close the account, then that's fine. As long as it's still on the credit report, the date opened is still going to be considered. It's still going to be a 10-year-old account. Next year, it's going to be an 11-year-old account. And so you're still always going to get the benefit of the age of the card as long as it's always on the credit report. After 10 years, the credit bureaus will remove it because they remove inactive accounts after a decade. Number two, it is absolutely possible that you ask your credit card issuer to convert that secured card to a non-secured card or an unsecured card. If you've got an excellent credit report with good credit scores and it's been many, many years since you opened the secured card, then it's actually time for you to convert it for a couple of reasons. A secured card is generally for someone who is just starting out or has poor credit and they need it to help them build a credit report. If you've got excellent credit now, after many years of responsible credit management, it's time for you to convert that card to an unsecured card. So call the issuer, tell them you want to convert it, tell them you want your deposit back, and ask them if they're going to reassign you a new card with the same opening date as the secured card. That would actually be very helpful if they were to do that, because then they're not adding a new account to the credit report, which also would affect that average age of the accounts. The only thing that you should keep in mind is that if you do choose to eventually close the account and not open a new account to replace it, the loss of the credit limit is actually something that could lower your credit score. Now, it sounds like in your scenario that's going to be minimal at best because of the $2,000 limit is usually, that's a very, very low credit limit. And if you've established unsecured cards since then it's very likely that you have many thousands of dollars of credit limits on those cards. And so I wouldn't get too hung up on the issue of closing the card because of the loss of the credit limit. If you like the card, if you like the bank, if you like the customer service of the bank and you want to stay a customer with them, trust me, they're going to want to keep you as a customer. One of the most expensive and difficult things to do as a credit card issuer is to acquire a new good customer. It's very expensive for them to do that. So work with them. It's very likely that they will want to issue you something new. They're probably going to want to pull your credit reports because you're technically applying for a new card when you're asking for them to convert secured to unsecured. So just be aware that they may do that, and they may ask for you to give them permission to do that, and I wouldn't get too hung up about that because that's actually pretty common procedure. Good luck with that. Let us know how it worked out for you. If you have any other questions pertaining to credit or other financial topics, then please submit them to creditcardinsider.com or in the comments section below. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.